This episode was brought to you by Commercial Fleet Financing.
What does it mean to be a woman today? For women, success is an entirely different game. Our goals are huge, and so are our responsibilities. There is work, and then there's play, and romance. The question is, how do you call all the shots in your professional life while not losing sight of what it means to be a woman? Find out how, only on Women in Power. Each week, join our hosts, Elena Cardone and Kerri Kasem, here on Whatever It Takes Network, for exclusive interviews with high-profile business owners, entrepreneurs, and other experts in their field as they help cultivate the power inside you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Women in Power. We designed this show to just discuss what it means to be a woman in today's modern world. There's so many things that just didn't present themselves as issues maybe 5-10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago that do today. So we're really on this journey to figure out what it means to be a modern woman in today's world. So
yeah, what it means and what it takes.
Yeah. And can we really do it all? And are we achieving the successes and having the family and the career? And so we're interviewing other fabulous women and finding out what they do, what their secrets are. As you see today, my new co-host, I am so happy to present Kerri Kasem, is going to be joining me for several episodes of Women in Power. We've known each other for several years.
For years and years. And I'm so happy when you said, hey, look, I would love for you to be my co-host. I just don't know how this is going to work.
Because she lives in Los Angeles. Yeah. And I was like, gosh, I love Katrina. She's so awesome, but she's really busy with her real estate and she just can't make it in all the time. And she was like, well, I can come.
I'll fly out here.
And I was like,
There's planes,
See,
Elena.
Woman in power is thinking. So this is good. Yeah. And I'm so glad to have you. So.
I know. I'm so glad to be here. I mean, this is amazing. This office, and my boyfriend is reading the 10 times rule, so I had to tell you that. Until you tell
10X. 10X. We are on Whatever It Takes Network, and it's all business, no bullshit. So today
we have this is amazing because I've worked with my brother, and these three women are absolutely incredible. They own a restaurant together. It's the Flatbread Grill. I should know this. I'm Lebanese. They're Greek, so it's kind of the same though. They have the flatbread, which is delicious.
Greek? I thought they were from Turkey.
No, Turkey, but the food is kind of Mediterranean.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yes.
Every time I look at the pictures, I'm like, oh my God, when are they going mainstream? I need that food.
It's so good. The Esendemir sisters are with us. I'm very excited. Now, I'm really hoping I'm getting your names right. It's Fusun, Gonca, and Arzu.
Yes.
You guys there?
Yes. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. They said perfect. I think we got it right. Yeah. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very excited to be here. And
thanks for having us on your show. We're really excited.
Can you hear them, Elena?
Not a thing.
Oh, I can hear them.
I'm like, not a thing.
No,
Okay,
we got to turn you up. It's all right. I can continue until you get your headphones on. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. I know you guys came from Turkey and you didn't have much money.
No, we didn't. Back in 2007, I actually got laid off from my electronics engineering technology position. So I approached Arzu and I asked her if we should start a restaurant because it's been a passion of mine for such a long time and we grew up in the industry. So Arzu, since her background's finance and business management, I just asked her for really advice and she ended up hopping on board with me. And then she turned around and she asked Gonca how she felt about the idea. So that's how Flatbread came to
fruition.
You're three sisters. I know I've worked with my brother, and I've lived with my brother, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. What's it like, working? I don't know. I don't assume that you guys all live together as well. But what's it like working day in and day out with each other?
Because like your family, you're more comfortable, and your husband or spouse. I feel like you're more comfortable to just like lay it all out and be extra brutal. Like I've had some arguments with my sister, even as an adult, that I would never have with anyone else.
It's true.
How do you do it?
Interesting. It's definitely interesting working with each other because sometimes it doesn't feel like you're working because you're laughing, sharing jokes with one another, and then you'll go 5 minutes later, you'll go and to start screaming at each other and bringing up things from your childhood when you were 5 years old, or we just
do actually live together too. So I think that's one of the things that makes it difficult, because when we bring our work home and all the arguments home with us.
Yeah.
So I think the most difficult part actually about the business is being sisters, because
and
we're
not
kind
killing each other.
Yeah,
Right.
We're stuck with each other. So
Wow,
I
that's
know.
really impressive, right?
Yeah, it is.
They have like a purpose so high and so like powerful that you put that first in order to put your differences aside to make things work out when it absolutely has to, is what I'm hearing.
yes, yeah, definitely. We started the business actually because my parents were sick and my father couldn't work anymore. He has a heart condition, and Fusun was taking him back and forth to the doctor. So she was laid off for taking basically time off to take care of my
Using her
parents.
vacation time. So it wasn't like she was just taking work off. She was actually using her vacation time. So
And starting the business, we were actually able to afford health insurance for our parents. And if we didn't get the health insurance, my dad wouldn't be here, because it was able to provide his surgeries.
Hey guys, we got to go to break real quick, but hold that thought. We want to hear about how this entire restaurant got started. We're going to take a break. We're going to go and to our sponsors, Elena.
Regardless of your home situation, tax bracket, or way of life, our goal is simple: to improve your quality of life and lower your expenses. With over 30,000 satisfied customers and guaranteed power production for 25 years, it's time to invest in your future. Let's harness the sun together. Visit AmericanVisionSolar.com today. Whatever It Takes Network makes available to you Grant Cardone live in his most popular seminar on how to 10x your finances, 10x your social media, and 10x your life at the Hard Rock Hotel, Cancun. Because you couldn't make it to Cancun, don't worry, we'll bring it right to you at 2 seminars streamed right to you on your phone, tablet, and computer, accessible anywhere. You can have the 10X seminar anytime, anywhere, whenever you need it. A $3,000 value available now for only $199. That's right, both seminars for only $199. Register today at whateverittakesnetwork.com/10X Live. That's whateverittakesnetwork.com/10X Live.
Hello, and we're back. You're watching Women in Power on Whatever It Takes Network. We are here with the Esendemir sisters, all 3 of them. And so you were telling us a little bit about your father and how you had no health insurance. And so if you hadn't received the health insurance, what would have happened?
Well, he wouldn't be here anymore. He has a failing heart condition. He also has a lung problem. So the business is able to provide him the medical support he needs to be here.
I know what it's like.
The first time in our lives. It was the first time in our lives that we were able to afford health insurance. Prior to that, growing up, we obviously didn't have anything. So if we had a toothache or a tooth falling out, my dad would take the pliers, the string, and just rip it out. So
we grew up in poverty. So.
Wow. I don't want to say I have the exact same situation as you, but I was forced to quit a job. Because they wouldn't let me off for what I needed to do for my dad as well. So I really understand that. And I did. I ended up quitting a job. It was the biggest job I ever had to fight for my dad and to eventually end up taking care of him until he died. So I know what that's like. And it's amazing when you feel like you kind of, it's like the opposite roles. They've taken care of you for so long. Now it's time to take care of them. So it's a good feeling.
Yes. And my parents made so many sacrifices for us to, get an education. Growing up, my father, everything he earned was going towards getting us an education, Yes. So they made so many tremendous sacrifices that for us, it's not even really a sacrifice, or it's just a sense of duty that we feel like it comes from love. So it's not, we don't dig our heels into the ground and say, I don't want to do this, because we're doing it for our family. And for us, there's really nothing that is more important to us than our family.
What would you say to an aspiring entrepreneur that, I know you guys started right when the economic collapse occurred and everyone was saying, are you kidding me? You're going to start a restaurant now? Like, you're insane. And you had to fight all of these odds. What would you advise someone who might be teetering on, should I go for it? Should I not? Like, what is, you're over on the other side now, looking back, what's the one piece of advice that you could give someone that would say, yay, nay, or avoid this? Or do you have anything like that pops to your mind?
I think the one piece of advice we would give aspiring entrepreneurs is one, to never give up, because owning and starting your own business is going to be like a roller coaster ride. So you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have a lot of challenges. You're going to have a lot of armchair critics telling you, you're going to have a lot of naysayers telling you can't do this, or you're not doing it right, and they're going to offer you unsolicited advice.
I think it's important to, we have different views on it, whether you should jump in or whether you should think of the risks and consequences. I'm very much just stop thinking about it and jump in and do it. Because if you spend too much time thinking about it, you're going to start thinking about all the things that can go wrong, all the things, the bad things that are going to happen, the obstacles you're going to encounter. So if you just get started and then you kind of go along,
figure it out.
Don't wait for the right time.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying. You're going to wait and wait. The time might pass you by.
But it's really important to do a lot of research.
Yes. Especially that we're in a really tough industry.
That's and that's what I was gonna say that I really admire. Some people get into this idea of like, oh, I'm gonna open a shop. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, but they just think maybe this fairy tale is gonna occur and they're just gonna wake up and be entrepreneurs and make money because that's what happens. But I know from reading about you guys that you've worked 15 hours a day. You've slept at your shop because you could actually get more sleep sleeping there than going home. Like, you guys were actually really into doing the work.
Yes, which in this industry, in the restaurant industry, many people think that they're going to just open their restaurant and then take vacation time. But God bless you if that happens in the beginning. It takes a while to get to that point. But for us, this was our home. This was an extension of ourselves. This was our livelihood. This was life or death for us. So
your business is like a baby. It requires, it's like a full-time job. You have to be there 24 hours a day for the first 2 years at least. So you're not going to have that free time. You're not going to be able to go to the spa and salon to get your nails done. So you kind of
We were really unkept.
I admit I was washing my hair once a week when we first opened the business. I shouldn't admit this, but that's what it comes down to.
Getting like a manicure is like a luxury now, so we really truly appreciate being able to do that. But
Okay, hold on a second. So wait a sec. So what do you do when one of you wants to take some time off, or you want to go on a date? Do the other two cover?
They're like crickets.
Huh?
That's exactly.
Like, what does that mean? Take off.
Date?
Don't-
Take off?
no, dating, what's that?
No one wants us.
What's that? I don't know what that's like anymore.
What do you mean? Y'all are gorgeous. Yeah, people want you. Why wouldn't they want you?
I think they want us. We're just they
Not
don't want
available.
all three of us in the picture.
So you really don't date? You're all single.
We are single. We don't. I'm trying to get back into it, but the world has changed in 7-8 years, and it's like all Tinder and Match.com now.
Oh, yeah.
And she actually, her boyfriend, my last night, he left her because of the restaurant. Her boyfriend of 15 years. He gave her an ultimatum: pick me or pick the restaurant, and then he left. So.
He basically told her you're going to be 70 years old in the kitchen, still doing the same thing, and you're not going to be successful. So, yeah,
He
it was
walked
kind
out.
of a.
Wow.
It was,
Well,
yeah.
he was wrong. He didn't come crawling back saying, I'm sorry.
No, I think he's really happy now. I think for
We're
me,
glad. We're good
Yeah,
riddance.
good riddance, right.
I didn't really have a choice because I couldn't spend time with him, and I think he took that as she doesn't care about me anymore. But I tried to explain to him that the restaurant was taking all of my time. I did not have any time off. So for me, it was kind of like, instead of fighting for the relationship, I just let it go because I knew that I was not in a position to make it work. So I just kind of just walked away from it and never looked back. I
Well,
think
it
that's
almost- I mean, look, I'm married to an entrepreneur. He's got several businesses. He's always working, like even till 10, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it's constant. But when you find the right person, you figure it out that like you allow them to do what it is that they love because you're still in the same space, and you just make it go right. And for the times that you can be together, and so. I mean, I don't know this man that you talk about, but in this particular aspect, I think you can find someone who supports you and throws you as much power as you need to continue doing what you're doing. And we'll be right back. Stay with us. You're watching Women in Power.
For over 30 years, international interior designer Stephen G is a world-renowned master of contemporary and traditional high-end design.
To me, lifestyle and comfort is what a great design project is all about.
Interiors by Stephen G has galleries in Florida and New York. With staff fluent in 7 different languages, Interiors by Stephen G offers a full-service experience from construction to completion. Visit Interiors by Stephen G at Facebook or his website, interiorsbystephenG.com. That's interiorsbystephenG.com to get started on bringing your design fantasies to a level beyond your dreams. Visit interiorsbystephenG.com today.
First rec mail sale we had in helping us sell over 200 new Lexus in one weekend.
We have established relationships with some of the best dealerships in the nation.
When you work with Hamlin Associates, John is from the automotive business. John has a really good grasp of what it takes to make a sale successful, and John is very much worried about your return on investment.
Let us help you go to the next level.
Hard work demands the highest price. Auto dealers, do you sell your notes? Are you disappointed with your current lender, your price, or your service? If you need capital now, we are the answer. Use our nationwide network of lenders. Trust us with your portfolio. Expedite your cash flow. With over $120 million submitted in 2014, we'll deliver. Dealer Capital Services. Visit mydealercapital.com or call 337-451-6921 today.
Welcome back to Women in Power. I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm here with Elena Cardone. I am the new co-host.
Yes,
Thank
and you can follow Kerri at Kerri Kasem on Instagram, Twitter. I'm at Elena Cardone. We have the luxury, if you're just tuning in, to be interviewing the Esendemir sisters.
And we have Fusun, I want to say, Gonca and Arzu. And I know you told me I got that right before. Was I good again?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And they own the Flatbread Grill, which I can't wait for it to be franchised all across America because it's going to be the best Mediterranean food ever. Like, so.
I want to hear what's on the menu because I'm half Lebanese. So I grew up eating Lebanese food. Do you have the tabbouleh? Do you have the baba ganoush? Is that kind of like, I know Turkish food there's a lot that kind of cross over.
When we first opened, we had more traditional food, and then we kind of adjusted our menu to appeal to more people. So you can still get traditional food, but it's kind of in the menu in a way where you wouldn't know it's traditional food. So it appeals to more people. And also we make our own specialty flatbreads. We have original bread recipes that Arzu actually created. She does the baking, and we make our own flatbreads on premises every day. We have salads, platters, soups, sandwiches, and everything is basically, it's simple, it's healthy, but it's
fresh.
Delicious. Yeah,
Their chicken isn't out of a bag. It's actually cooked and made to order, so it's all white meat.
We operate a full commercial kitchen, so even though our price point is really competitive with fast food prices, you're not actually getting fast food. So that's one of the things that's really important to us, and from a cultural background as well, Turkish people love their food. So serving good, delicious food that's fresh has always been important to us.
And in Los Angeles, there's so many restaurants, and you go to a Chinese restaurant, and a lot of times you'll see people who are from Mexico cooking, or you'll see people from like a different culture, and they're cooking, somebody else's food. But when you find a kitchen and the chef is from that country or the family,
it's the family recipe.
It's the family. Oh my, is there a major difference?
Because there's love, right?
Yes, but it tastes like it's from that country. Like there's a few Lebanese restaurants in LA where they're from Lebanon. And it depends on if they're south or north or whatever. But when I get the real Lebanese food that my grandma used to cook and I can taste it in their food, I know it's real.
Genuine.
It's authentic. Do people say that to you?
People are often surprised when they try our food that, or something like our falafel. They'll say, I've had falafel everywhere, in all the major cities. I've had it in Israel where falafel comes from. And they're so surprised by how good it is. I think that has a lot to do with our price point because we're very affordable. So they're getting what would be comparable to full service fine dining food quality, and they're getting it at a fast food price, so they're always really surprised by how authentic it is. Because it's kind of sad because it's like we've been so downgraded with food quality over the years by the crap that's being served out there. So when people try our food, it's just like, I don't know, like a light bulb goes off. Like they feel like they've been missing something all this time. But we took our family recipes and we just kind of tweaked them to be better, make
more
them
accessible.
More accessible, like
they're not intimidated to try the cuisine, but still traditional recipes.
Yeah, we're big food people. I mean, you can tell.
You can tell how passionate they are, right?
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
We take our food seriously, so we would never ever serve something
we wouldn't eat to our customers.
What is the plan? Are y'all do y'all have the rollout plan to go nationwide?
We do. We have. We're working on our Hoboken store right now, which is taking forever. But it's okay. The payoff's going to be great. So it's taking a while. But we are working with FranceMart. They are responsible for launching brands like Five Guys. The CEO, Dan Rowe, he's a really good friend of ours. He's, one of the first people that kind of caught on and got what we were doing. We never had to explain it to him. And he will be helping us with our international expansion plan. And he's just, his whole team is just terrific. I mean, there's nobody in this industry that can take a concept and launch it internationally. I don't think there's anyone that does it better than Fran Smart.
Now, do you feel that y'all are women in power?
Yes. We're just starting to feel that way. We did it for a long time because when you're a woman, you really, especially we're in a male-dominated industry. I mean, we are the first woman to start and launch an international restaurant chain. So we are the odd man out. But you have to really fight for your power when you're a woman. There's really, it's a constant uphill struggle. So we're just starting to feel it now.
In the beginning, when we first started, we'd run away when people would ask us, who started this restaurant? It's amazing. Who are the owners? Where is he? Can I meet him? My friends
Did you find yourself being embarrassed to say, it's me? Like somehow you weren't worthy or something in the beginning?
I honestly, I felt inadequate because I always felt like I looked like a chubby teenager. We look much younger than our age. And because people would automatically say, where is he? Where's the big boss?
Yep.
You know, and like all the vendors and the customers, and if a customer had a complaint and they didn't want to talk to me, they're like, where's the boss? Where is he? And I'm like, you are talking to the boss.
You have to like fall down the stairs, and with the reactions we got, I think that's what made me personally.
It made us insecure because we're like, the men are so used to dealing with other men in this industry that when they encounter us, they're like, what the heck?
Tell us a story. Yeah, tell me a story of like, I love stories of the best customer or the worst customer you ever had.
Oh my gosh, so many stories. We've had so. I worked for a house for almost a decade. I feel. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to tell you about Richard.
We got to name.
We got to hear about Richard.
Here it comes out.
Richard is. See, what people would never know is when they would go online and leave Yelp reviews about us, because it was just the three of us, like face to face with these people. We always knew who they were. So
down to what they would eat. Like I would remember people, even though I wasn't up front, I knew what every customer would eat.
And it would freak people out. But Richard came in with his wife a couple of times. Second time he came in, you know, I gave him free sauces and then he wanted more. So I charged him, which is like the worst thing you can do in this industry. Don't charge for extra sauce. You know, but it's a proprietary recipe and we make it in-house and it's expensive to make. So I charged him 50 cents. And he didn't want to pay for it, so he threw it back at me. And he wanted to see the manager. And I was the manager. Then she came out. Then she came out. And it was like this whole big thing like, I'm going to get you guys closed down. You're never going to last. Goes on Yelp, writes a review.
Oh, boy.
We're going to go out of business in 6 months. Comes back the next week, the week after that.
After he said he wasn't coming back again.
Of course.
I emailed him and I said, Richard, don't come back. Because you keep saying you're not going to come back, but you keep coming back. So he stopped coming, and then 3 years later, he changed his review to, he took out the, they might not last they're not going to be open for 6 months, because it had been 3 years. And then he changed it to, the owners are psycho, they need medical help, which eventually I got Yelp to take it down, and he didn't even live in New Jersey anymore, he wasn't a customer, so it's like 3 years later and you're still thinking about flatbread? And how we charge
Well,
this customer
like
good.
Grant always says, you have to have your haters. So we thank Richard for being the hater because they motivate you, keep you inspired.
Grant said, never waste a hater.
Never waste
motivation.
They are motivation. They're fuel. I personally don't like haters because I am a people pleaser and I want everyone to like me.
Get in this business long enough, like,
and then you get to a point where you're like, okay.
No, there's so many haters.
It.
But you gotta have your haters. It's true, you know? And they said this once about the Howard Stern show. They said people who love him listen 2 hours a day. People who hate him listen 4. Yeah, so hate us all you want.
So no wonder he kept coming to eat and blah, blah, blah. He was like, I hate it.
When he came, right, I hate you.
I hate it.
When he did come back, did you say, Richard, please remove the Yelp review and we'll feed you?
You know, I didn't do that because I kind of smirked to myself every time. I mean, he was spending money, you know.
His wife and child was coming in, so that made us really happy. And it made sure to make the food extra good because, his little
I felt
girl
bad for his daughter because there were so many kids that love our place. So I felt bad for the kid, you know, because she loved her pizza and her hummus.
I made it extra large for her.
The last time the last time we made it extra good, because then that's when I finally emailed him and I said, like, listen, your wife and your daughter was in here again. This is what they had.
We'd love for you
Pizza
guys
and
to come back and enjoy our food. You know, no hard feelings. Just, you know, please remove the comment that we're psycho, because we're not. You don't really know us, but
it was just, I mean,
Wow.
people are, like, haters tend to be very cowardly.
That's true.
The common denominator. All
They're
haters share.
very cowardly. I mean, we ran into somebody who wrote a really mean blog post about us. We saw him at breakfast a couple of weeks ago, and he like ran out of the restaurant.
Of course. They can hide behind the social media thing,
It's
but once they have to
ridiculous.
face you in person, they're like, scram.
You know what I do is when people write me, like they message me on Facebook so everybody can't see it and they think that they're going to be, you know, they're hidden and they can say whatever they want about me. Depending on how bad it is, usually it's block delete. That's usually what the hand is block delete. But when people threaten you or threaten to hurt you or threaten, you know, it gets pretty bad. What I do is I just cut and paste and let everybody on my Facebook deal with them, and then their Facebook page gets shut down. So, you know, and then they retract it or they apologize or they say I didn't mean it like that, and then they get shut down.
That's a good tactic. I want to try that.
But then they say people are bullying me. No, but when you say like there's a bullet with your name on it, that's not that's threatening my life, and here your Facebook's gonna be shut down. So there's ways you can out these people as well as on Yelp when somebody writes a bad review.
Mm-hmm.
You go under it and you say, oh, I know who you are. I'm so sorry you felt that way. Please come in. I don't remember. That's how, the situation went, but let me do something to correct it. A lot of times they'll remove the review if they're sane enough. Yeah. They remove the review. Yeah.
You know, I only wrote one bad review in my whole life. I've never gone on Yelp, but I had this party at a bowling alley here.
Yeah.
Lucky Strike. And I didn't feel like they treated me right. They didn't have my lane, properly assigned, and I forget what it was like a big mess up the whole entire night. And like at the end of the night, they were basically, and I had 20 people there. I was hosting a party for the office, blah, blah, blah. And it just didn't kind of go according to plan. And all they wanted to offer was an I'm sorry. And I wrote the Yelp review and I said, look, the server was amazing. The food was pretty good. We actually had a lot of fun. However, this happened. It inconvenienced our time. We got pushed back a couple of hours. All I got was an I'm sorry. Like no. Like
they should have given you the.
No, it wasn't even like an I'm
free.
sorry. It was like well, too bad, kind of. I think that's
this
what
happens.
I wrote on the thing. Like it wasn't even an I'm sorry. Anyway, I wrote the Yelp review. Of course, somebody from management called me. They gave me 9 passes, VIP passes, to whatever, the whole thing. It was a whole thing comped. He was like, please come back in. I said, you know what? That's all I wanted. I just wanted somebody to recognize that y'all messed up. Yep. And I just, if I had felt I had just even gotten an I'm sorry that night, I wouldn't have done anything. Anyway, the minute that happened, I said, listen, I'm removing the post right away, and you will continue to earn my business. That's all I wanted. And I removed the post, and that was it. That's my Yelp story of when I was a hater. And now I actually really like Lucky Strike. So here, see, I'm promoting them.
There you go. Plug in them.
Anyway, so I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show today. I really learned a lot. Like, family is really important. If you're going to work together, have your high purpose of, what is the purpose? Where are you trying to go? And then you can kind of handle any situation that comes up. And I really love this bond that you guys have, especially being from another country and having your work ethic in so much so y'all aren't even dating until you get this thing and your dream really like up and going and alive to where you can then kind of allow for other things. I really admire that.
And I can't wait to eat your food once you kind of
too.
franchise
That's
it.
why
And you
I'm
go,
like, what's the plan?
I know, or
But-
send us some.
Some stuffed grape leaves.
Are you kidding me? And falafel. I love
my God,
falafel.
me too.
So good.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for being on Women in Power. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. And where can we find you? If we're in New Jersey, tell everybody where they can find your restaurant.
You can come to Hoboken when we open, or you can go to flatbreadgrill.com to keep up with our expansion. That's the easiest thing for you to do because there's a location search on there, so you'll be able to find the one that's nearest to you.
Flatbread.com. And where can they follow you on Instagram and Twitter where you post these salacious pictures of food?
Well, if you follow like our personal, like Esendemir sisters. There's Esendemir sisters, and then there's Flatbread Grill. So, because there's some people that love Flatbread Grill but don't like us, and then there's some people that like us who have never tried Flatbread Grill. So,
You see, you cross. I like
hilarious.
it. All right, so I'm following you at Flatbread Grill. And I really can't wait to come out there and experience it
We
for
should
myself.
go. We should go out there and
right?
eat. Yeah.
Shoot
See,
the
there's
show from
planes,
there.
Elena.
I
There's
know.
planes.
Believe
They work.
me. I know about planes.
The Ascendere sisters, thank you so much for being on the show. We really, really love talking with you. And I love the Richard story, I have to tell you. I'm probably going to tell that
Poor
story to
Richard.
other people I know.
I know. I'm going to go on Yelp and attack Richard.
Richard!
It's been long
Richard's a
enough. Take it
psycho.
down. All right, guys. You're watching Women in Power on Whatever It Takes Network. Thank you.
This episode was brought to you by Commercial Fleet Financing.